Johnny wanted a kid. He wanted a kid really freaking bad, but Johnny was shooting blanks. And he prayed and he prayed and he prayed for a kid. And nothing happened until finally he reached a point of desperation, and when he prayed, he said, "Listen, God, I don't care if you give me a Razorback for a child. I just want a child." Next day, his wife's stomach was out to here. And when she gave birth, that thing, you can hardly call it a child, came out human up to here and wild boar beyond. Now, how many people in the audience have given birth before? Great. Now imagine there are tusks involved. She was not happy. And from the day she gave birth, she was determined not to love that child. And because she resented the child, the husband, who had prayed so hard for the child, also resented him. They called him Sooie, and they made poor Sooie sleep behind the furnace where he could not be seen. They made him play in the backyard because when he went out into the town, the sight of him made the other children cry. And when he was 13, he looked at his father and said, "One day you will love me, but until that day, give me now what I claim as my inheritance. I want one of your turkeys, and I want your old banjo." And on that day, Sooie got on top of that turkey, and he strapped that banjo to his back, and he rode off into the sunset, way out into Mark Twain National Forest. Now there he lived in Mark Twain National Forest, sitting up in the treetops, plucking his banjo, wasting all the days away. But he had a good life, and he got to know the lay of the land very well. And then one day there was a very wealthy boat builder that got lost in Mark Twain National Forest. And he wandered far, and he wandered wide, and eventually he stumbled on a pig in a tree, sitting on a turkey, plucking a banjo. And he thought, that dude knows something. So he went up to the tree and he said, "Hey there, pig. You know how I get home?" And the pig was like, "Yeah, I don't know. You got something for me?" And maybe. And the boat builder said, "Hey, the first thing I see when I get home is yours." Well, Sooie gave a good smile at that and he said, "All right." Turned left, the road's like 10 feet away. And the man went home. But when he went home, do you know what greeted him first? His daughter. A few more days passed, and Sooie was sitting up in the tree, and who came along but another wealthy boat builder. Weirdly, there were two living in the same area. And that wealthy boat builder was lost, and he was looking far, and he was looking wide, and he looked up in the tree, and he saw a pig sitting on a turkey, plucking a banjo, and he thought, I have no other choice, why not? "Hello, pig, how do I get home?" And the pig said, "You're literally 10 feet from the road. But before you go, quick contract to sign. Signs real quick. Whatever greets you first when you come home, that's fine. It's a new contract I worked out recently." He's like, yeah, sure, cool. When he got home, the first thing to greet him was his daughter. Well, a few years passed, and eventually Sooie was 18, ready to settle down. You know how 18-year-olds are good at getting married. And he went to go collect on his rewards. He went to the first boat builder's house. He was like, "Hey, what greeted you? I heard it was your daughter." "I'm single." And the daughter came out and she goes, "No, I cannot marry that. Think of what our children will look like." And the pig, being a pig, that the stench would last for 1,000,000 years and no one would marry her. And he went off to the second boat builder. And he greeted me, he said, hey, what's the first thing that greeted you? He's like, it's my daughter. Please don't marry my daughter. Please. And the pig said, but I'm 18. It's time for me to get married. And the daughter said, listen, Dad, you made a promise. I will keep that promise. I will marry you, mysterious pig man, whose name I do not like. And they went off to go live their happy life in a magical house that he had built in Mark Twain National Forest using some moss and sticks and twigs. And he said, listen, wife, he never bothered to ask her name. Listen, wife, tonight, after I go to sleep, undo the zipper on my skull and take my skin off and throw it into the fire, and you will be very pleased. And so at night, when he went to sleep, she undid the zipper in his skull, and she took it all the way down his back, peeled the skin off of him, and threw it into the fire. And when she did, he let out a wild howl. Woo! Pigs away! And he caught fire himself, and he was charred and battered. And out of something like compassion, she splashed water on him. And wouldn't you know it, there underneath all that char and the burnt pork was the hottest man she had ever seen. Now, is there a moral to this story? No, the Grimm's fairy tale people, they weren't very good at that. But if you ever get the chance to marry a mysterious pig man, sure, go for it.